My coffee got like disgustingly cold. Hey guys, so for today's video, I decided to do a brow video. So basically what I'm doing is I'm showing you guys how to get two different eyebrow looks. This side I did more of the natural brow look. And then on this side I did the more Sharpie brow look, I guess you can call it. I'm also going to be showing you guys the products that I use on each of my brow looks. Oh, and also I wasn't really good at staying in shot. So I may have moved around a little bit. Like, it was just really difficult because the camera was like this close. It was just my eye basically. So yeah, I'm sorry if I make anyone nauseous while watching this video. So anyways, thank you so much for clicking on my video, and let's get started. So I'm going to start by using this L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in the shade Dark Brunette, and I'm going to brush back my brows using the spoolie from that brow pencil. And now I'm going to draw a little baseline at the bottom of my brow so I know where to work from. And you want to use really light strokes so it doesn't look super thick on your brows, because this is the more natural brow look, so we want to keep it looking natural. So now I'm going to brush through the product using the spoolie so it doesn't clump up anywhere. So now I'm going to go on to the top of my brows, and I'm just following my natural line and the natural arch, and then filling it in with, again, very light strokes. And I'm trying to work around my pimple over there, but it was honestly such a struggle. And what I'm basically doing is drawing an outline and then coloring it in, kind of like a coloring picture thing, you know? And then I'm brushing it out with a spoolie again. So now I'm going to use the Morphe MB29 eyebrow brush, and I'm going to dip into the Milani brow powder thing, specifically the dark brown powder. And I'm going to use that to fill in any sparse areas on my brows. Oh, and everything I am using will be listed down below in the description box. So I'm adding the powder just to add a bit more coverage, but it isn't anything too intense, so it still gives that nice natural effect that we are going for. So I'm really focusing the product on the front of my brows because I did not put any brow product for that reason, so we can give that nice gradient effect. Next, I'm using the Wet n Wild Tinted Brow Mascara in the shade Nothing But Brunette, and I'm using this to set my brows into place and to also add a bit more coverage. I'm just going to use a really light hand because, again, we want to keep this looking very natural. And I'm going to focus the product on the front of my brows by flicking it upward so it can give that nice bushy and full effect. Now I'm just going to use the Morphe MB29 brush to spread the brow gel while it's still wet to give it a nice and even look on our brows. So this is the finished look for the natural brow look, and I love wearing this brow look when I'm wearing little to no makeup, just so I could still look put together. And on to the next brow look, we're going to be doing the more sculpted and bold brow. Using my NYX Tame Frame Brow Pomade in the shade Brunette. And I'm just going to start by drawing a baseline like I did with the last brow look. So I'm going to start from the front of my brows and work my way back, and I will be extending it specifically on the tail part of my brows to make it look bigger and bolder. And pomades tend to dry out quickly, so when it does, I just add a drop of face oil, and currently I'm using the Palmer's Skin Therapy Oil, and then I mix it in until the oil is fully dissolved into the pomade, and this just helps the pomade to just glide onto your brows. So now I have my baseline down, I'm going to move on to the top of my brows. I'm just going to follow my natural brow line and arch again, and then fill it in. You don't have to use a light hand on the tail end of your brows when you fill it in, but on the front of your brows, you really want to use a light hand and hair-like strokes to give it a nice gradient effect. So now to clean up the front of my brows, I'm using my finger because I'm too lazy to grab a Q-tip. Okay, moving on. Now I'm using the pomade again just to make my brows bolder and darker because we are going for that bolder look. And I did put a lot on my brows, but we are spreading it all throughout the brows, so it's fine. And then I'm going to brush it out with the spoolie again so it doesn't look all clumpy. And then going into the Milani brow powder, I'm just going to put it all over my brow to set the pomade. And again, this adds a bit more coverage as well. I'm also going to be focusing the product on the front of my brows to give that nice gradient effect. So I'm just using very light strokes so it kind of blends in smoothly with the darker part of our brows. So now I'm just going to carve out my brows using this Cella Ivory Lace highlighter. It is a matte highlighter and it's so easy to use. You just kind of trace it like so, and then I'm gonna blend it out using the BH Cosmetics 103 brush. It's kind of like a flat shader brush, but I prefer using it for blending out my brow bone highlight. And I used to never carve my brows, but it actually helps with making your brows look really nice and smooth and clean cut. So now I'm just going to go back into the Brow Stylist definer from earlier to really emphasize the tail part of my brows to make it longer and darker. And then I'm going to set that brow highlight just using any pressed powder. And then using my Wet n Wild brow mascara, I'm going to focus this on the places where there are a few stray brow hairs that didn't really stick to the pomade. And that is the finished look. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video.